Good morning, everybody. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are on day 13 of our Lenten devotional, which comes out of, once again, God on Mute. And if you haven't gotten this book, you need to get it. It's amazing. You can get it on paperback like this. You can get it on your phone, tablet, even get the audiobook, which I heard, which is amazing. But I encourage you to get this book. So as we go into our devotional, I want to read from Psalms chapter 6, verses 2 and 3, as we go to a time of meditation. It says this: "Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am faint. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. My soul is in deep anguish. How long, Lord? How long?" Many years ago, there was this movie that was called God's Not Dead. And it's basically about this college student who challenges his philosophy professor. And the professor was an atheist, which means he didn't believe in God. And as we go further into the movie, we kind of understand why he is that. At one point, he believed in God, and he went to go pray. And he tried to bargain with God because his mother was dying of cancer. And he prayed and prayed. It says, "God, if you heal my mom, I'll do whatever you say. I'll do whatever you do." But we find out from him is that his mother died. And when that happened, he says, "There's no God. God doesn't exist, whatever." And so in this book, the title of it on this devotional, it calls "The Stages of Grief." And Pete Greig says that we go through what they call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages of grief. He says denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It's like whenever we're going through something traumatic or we experience this grief, he said these are the 5 things that usually that come out. And I know for me, when times I've dealt with grief, and it's been many, I've felt these stages of grief. I've been angry. I've denied, even tried to bargain with God, depression, and even acceptance. And he says that once we go through this and know that grief, it's not automatic when you get over it. It's not like you feel better in a day or 2 or 3 a week, whatever. It takes a little bit. But at some point, as we're dealing with this, as we've prayed with God and God has been mute, that God has been silent, he says we need to come to 2 decisions. Either we accept it or we live in depression. And quite honest, I've done both. I've lived in times of depression when I've prayed and it didn't happen. All kinds of depression has come out. But also times is that when we accept it. And acceptance means like we're not waiting God to give the answer that we want. It's God, I accept what's happening. It is what it is. You may still believe that God's going to do what you ask for, but if God doesn't, I'm okay. And I'll be okay as long as God, you give me the strength. And so this devotional kind of ends with this famous song that talks about these stages of grief and how this person dealt with it. It's a famous song by Horatio Spafford, and it's called "It Is Well." For those of you who don't attend church, like, I don't know that song. But for those who've been in church, we've probably heard this in many different ways, either through a hymn or contemporary music or whatever. But listen to these words. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not going to do that, but I'm just going to read these words of this powerful song. It says, "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ has regarded my helpless estate and hath shed his own blood for my soul. And Lord, haste the day when the faith shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as a scroll, the trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. This song is so powerful because he wrote this not when things were just great, when he had everything. He was just chilling and everything was wonderful. He had just lost his family. He had a bunch of kids and he had lost almost all of them in his shipwreck. And they were struck with grief as he dealt with this tragedy. But out of the depth of his soul came these words. It says, God, I know my children cannot come back. I can pray to you, but they're not going to come back. But God, my soul is well because it rests in you. And I know that I'll be okay and still know that God is good. And when we can say, and when God is good, and we can say that, we know not only God is good, but it's going to be good for us as well. I pray you be blessed this day. And no matter what you're going through, whatever's happening in your life, that at some point you can say, it is well with my soul and everything's going to be okay. God bless you.